Hello everyone and welcome back to welcome to a brand new series we are doing here in Zoo Tycoon 2. I thought with Planet Zoo coming up to fill, all of our regular zoo building needs, and Sparrow Forest very sadly being pretty much unplayable at this point. I can go in it, I can wander around, but as soon as I start building, no, it just crashes. Which is really unfortunate. Unfortunately, it does get to that point in Zoo Tycoon 2 with bigger zoos. It's not really built for the amount of stuff that we like to put in our enclosures. But since we have Reef Rescue still going, Reef Rescue, I have no plans to finish that anytime soon. I'll stop doing that for any reason. I thought maybe we could do something a little bit different. We don't really have a lot of prehistoric animals going on in this channel, so I thought let's start a new project which is going to be devoted to resurrecting extinct animals and talking about them and learning about them and all that good jazz. So here we are in the very beginnings, the very bare bones. As you can see, there isn't very much going on. The very bare bones of the Back to Life Research Center. I will take you to our very tiny little research area just now. All of our chickens are angry. We have these chickens because basically they are going to lay the eggs that are going to help us with a lot of our dinosaurs and the like. I did think about maybe we should raise like all of the other animals that we could use for cloning, but then I was just like, that's going to be so much effort. Let's just stick to chickens. Let's keep it simple. And they could work for like dodos and stuff as well. Everything else will just kind of have to do a bit of pretending. But I wanted to kind of at least bring a tiny bit of realism into this cloning system, where we are going to need the egg cells, or the literal eggs in the chicken's case, from a closely related animal. I'm actually going to put down a zookeeper because I didn't put one in. The very first zookeeper. So we're gonna go for that. I'll talk a bit more in detail about that kind of process some other time. I did do a really big project on it a little while ago. So while I am obviously no expert, I can tell you a good deal of information that is scientifically supported. And we have people coming in even though all we have is chickens. So a big part of what we're going to be doing in this series is getting out our good old fossil. Just like that, our good old fossil finder. Fossil finder is probably the best term for it. Can I come through? We're probably gonna we're definitely gonna hire a couple of paleontologists, or just one for now. We'll just get the one for now, who are going to be assisting us in this task. So we are not going to be purchasing any animals. No, sorry. No purchasing of extinct animals. All of them are going to be created right here in the park using the DNA samples we find. Obviously, even though we can just sort of find them, that's obviously not quite how it would work in real life. It is going to be a little bit of, again, pretending that maybe this is an important fossil site and maybe you can find lots of fossils here, but the DNA is coming from all different sources that we're probably having to buy in. It's astonishing how little fossils I actually seem to be detecting. But this was one of my favourite kind of things to do back when this was still a relatively new game. I think around the time I distinctly remember really being hyped about this expansion, there being a lot of hype around it. When I was quite young, I can't even remember, was it like 2008 or something that it came out? I'm trying to think how old I must have been. Like 9 or 10 maybe? And I remember being so excited that I built an entire park. Like I literally built a whole zoo in preparation before we even had the extinct animals to play with. I was just so excited to have them. I don't really remember much about what that zoo was like. Not that I would want to try and recreate it because I was very young, I didn't know much about zoo building, and I remember being really distraught when the expansion did come out and I could place the animals and some of them didn't like the enclosures I'd pre-built for them, I was like, no! I worked so hard! And there were other animals that I'd never heard of before. I was like, oh my goodness, I have to make this an enclosure. Because I remember I was looking at all the animals that had been announced, and I was like, oh, I need to make sure I have enclosures for everything that's been announced, and I also have to leave space for everything, so I want to have everything in the zoo. Oh my goodness, I always try, even now, I'm really into having, like, all the little things that you can unlock. Like, all the little unlockable things, like the Sky Tower I really like. I've actually been thinking, how would you guys feel about a Zoo Tycoon 2 Classic series, where we just strip the game of all the mods that I've thrown on it. We just get rid of everything, and we build, like, a good old classic Zoo Tycoon 2 zoo. No little flares. No nothing. Is my other paleontologist doing anything? Are you helping me? So what I really want to do is, like I said, I just want to focus on what we can resurrect. I won't resurrect everything, obviously, because that would be a lot of building. And we probably wouldn't have the space. Though it might be a matter of maybe we have an enclosure for one thing, and then later on we renovate that enclosure to be for something else. That could be something to look into. That would probably be quite fun as well, because at least then we can have a bit more of a, I guess, lore on a zoo, and I really want to do something a bit more lore heavy. It's something I'm really excited to get into in Planet Zoo, like actually building zoos that maybe have a bit of backstory to them. Like maybe we're building a zoo that's like originally built in the early 2000s, the early 20th century, and upgrading it from that point, because it's something I always kind of wanted to do in Zoo Tycoon 2, but I never really thought that we had the capability for it, I guess. Because Sparrow Forest kind of has that lore, where it's meant to be like an early Victorian-style zoo that's kind of evolved over time to be something else. But I think I didn't really get into that lore, I was just building and building and building non-stop. But I think it would be fun to do a bit of a mix, like a couple of old-style zoos, a couple of more modern zoos, a couple of zoos that maybe aren't even European-style. I know some of that's going to come into the career and franchise, I think the other one is called, franchise modes. But I do have a bit of lore for the Back to Life Research Center as well. Mostly being that it is set in the future. It's set in a future where we obviously are capable of resurrecting these creatures. An ideal future where we have solved climate change and everything's perfect in the world. I can only dream. But it is set in probably, I think, I haven't settled on whether or not it's set in like very northern Europe, so kind of like Norway kind of area, or if it's set more in Canada, just somewhere with a conifer forest, a colder climate with more conifer forests. Was my plan. Somewhere quite isolated. Or we can build a dodo. And I actually do kind of want to do that. I kind of wanted to have, like... I did decide, I was thinking maybe I should flatten this terrain, but I'm thinking, no, I need to get used to working with different terrains. So, hello. Yes, I forgot I decided I wanted to do that. I got a free gift card for having lots of... But I don't think this gift card... I'm just going to sell it, because I don't think this gift card is going to sell anything of use to us. It's all going to be... it's all going to be, like, living animals. Right, let's go ahead and put together the dodo fossil. I loved doing this. I really remember loving doing this. Even now, I can go, like, on such autopilot. I think there's like a section of my brain, you know, they did that study that essentially discovered that there is an entire part of your brain dedicated to remembering Pokemon. I think I not only have that, I think I have an entire section of my brain dedicated to remembering how to do the Zoo Tycoon 2 fossil puzzles. I know these are the easy ones, but for real, the fact, like, how much I just remember, I even remember which ones I get stuck on. Because I get stuck on the same ones every time, and then I'm like, oh no, I got stuck on this before, I know how to do this. Alright. It is pretty intuitive for these early ones. They're not really complicated. It's like, oh, that's very clearly a neck. Those are very clearly some ribs. Things like that. So I do want to get a bit of a mix of dinosaurs and not dinosaurs, and I also do want to have a couple of mixed species enclosures. So I definitely think we should go in and do some reading about these different animals and when they lived and where they lived and all those things, so we can have some like really cool so we can have some really cool little ecosystem type things going on. I think I also need, I don't know if I have the Walking with Dinosaurs pack installed. I don't think I do, but I think I should probably put that mod pack back in, because that adds some really super awesome dinosaurs to the game. I like how these people can still see the chickens. Like, do they have like a good view of them? Oh my god, they like have the slightest view of the front of their enclosure. That's awesome. That's actually incredible. Yeah, so I'm really just gonna dive into it with building things. Like, I usually kind of dilly-dally with like, I should build things at my entrance. I should make my entrance absolutely beautiful, but I'm not gonna worry too much about it this time. I will definitely put things like, I'll obviously put things like restaurants and buildings and hoodoos and wadoos all over the place, but I really just wanted to dive into this series, you know. Okay, this is where I have my hands all in the wrong place. Oof. I am actually terrible at these, at this. Like, when it gets to the harder ones, I'm really bad at it. Alright, okay, we have a super dodo. So we're gonna have to build a little dodo area. And I kind of actually do want to, they're offering... Oh my goodness, your sister Sue wants you to participate in experimental new study in extinct animal research. They are offering to give you the data needed to create the Diprotodon in the Extinct Research Lab for $5,000. If you prove your skills by creating 3 super specimens of the Diprotodon in 2 months, you get a $5,000 grant to offset the costs and get the animal data. I mean, yeah, sure. So they've given us the data, and I'm gonna need... Okay, so let's... We're gonna have to do some thinking. So... Okay, what I was trying to say is I actually do want to channel the very original dodo enclosure that I built when I was younger. So the idea there was that it was like kind of a... I'm losing my brain. It was dipped. It was like this. It was like a little ditch. There we go. And they had like a little waterfall, I believe. Something. Oh my goodness, I don't even remember that well, but yeah, I definitely remember it was like down enough to make that the terrain go into that rocky kind of stage. There we go. Alright, so what I actually want to do is I'm going to put a door there. We're going to flatten it a bit there. Raise it up a bit more here. Oh, a bit less than that. There we go. And what I'm actually going to do is build... I say build, create... That's not how waterfalls work. Create a little... This is going to look so terrible. It's always good to be experimental, I say. You can be a waterfall. Don't pretend like you can't be a waterfall. You're pretending like you can't be a waterfall, but you can. You're entirely capable of being a waterfall there. Stop it! So waterfalls are like, for some reason, really tricky in this game. Or at least I find them really tricky. They seem to have... They do think... Water does things like that, where it goes into funky shapes, and it can only be a straight line. Like, vertically or horizontally. It can't be diagonal for you to make it be a waterfall. Yep, that doesn't work. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna scrap the waterfall for just a second. I'm trying to think, because that looks kind of ugly. I kind of don't want it to be that steep anymore. I kind of want it to be... Okay, let's do a rethink. Let's rethink. I kind of want it to be a bit more subtle, I guess. But I'm wondering, since these are quite high profile... Okay, I'm not going to channel my... These are quite high profile, well protected animals, or I presume they are. They are like the only dodos on Earth, so I feel like they should be completely enclosed. It's also, my brain. Okay, let's just make some Diprotodons. I forgot I have to wait for it to be refilled. Never mind. My first super one. Do I get any, like, special awards for doing all those? Like, any items? No, I don't. Dang it. I was hoping maybe I got a statue or something. Okay, so I went ahead and did a sort of crappy little construction. It's a little dip there. I think that's a little dip there. Just to house the dodos in. There isn't very much decoration going on here. I didn't want to, like, decorate it up too much while not recording. I don't really have a lot of things I can decorate with right now, but we'll definitely, you know, put some stuff up on here. So the idea being, you can come up here and you can peek at your dodos. You can peek at our dodos through this glass here. So I'm trying to make everything a bit more contained with, like, high walls and everything. Reason being that I feel like these guys would be quite well protected even within the zoo. So I'm actually gonna go ahead. I need to do... I wasn't paying attention. I guessed. Up, down, click, right. Okay. Oh my goodness, I hate when it makes me remember things. Okay, Diprotodon 1. Was I meant to make them all supers? I have to create 3 super versions? Oh my goodness, this is going to be a difficult one. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep them kind of over here for now. But I do want to make this dodo enclosure up a little bit more. So we have one female dodo. Just one. And we can make her more comfortable in the habitat using the Misty Springs. Oh my goodness, they're so big and chunky. Kind of do it like that, and then because it's already covered up, I guess, in plants, doesn't look too bad. So I do kind of... They are from the island of Mauritius, which is a tropical island, so I do kind of want to give this a tropical island feel. They have their little indoor area, and I'm gonna make this into a kind of research-ish looking area, if I can. So I'm gonna need to build a Diprotodon enclosure as well. They are from Australia. So I'm wondering if I should maybe think about doing it. I guess I'm not really gonna unlock things in a way where I could theme it, to have dinosaurs all in one place. I'll go by time zone, because obviously these guys, like dodos, went extinct relatively recently in geological terms, like within the last several hundred years. Let's try and do this. I think that was up. Oh yeah. Full concentration. There we go. Super. So I'm gonna need to do that twice more. So we're gonna have a pretty healthy population of Diprotodons, I think. When we're done here. I don't know if I should give these guys funky code names like I do in the reef rescue. Hello! Hello, baby dodo. I wonder if these were like social birds. I don't know too much about them. But I definitely want to make these areas look a bit more uniform, a bit more complete. We don't have a super lot of decorations we can use. I could probably do something over here. Oh, maybe I could use wallpapers somewhere to make at least the interiors look a bit more interesting. And we do have like the Australian themed stuff that we could use to at least make the Diprotodon area a bit more interesting. They're like weird little funky beaver things. I like funky beaver things. They are kind of marsupial, so beaver isn't quite the right word to use. Community minded. Oh, so we can actually have these guys in like a herd and that be something that makes sense. What about dodos? Does it have anything about dodo social groupings? Oh, they were actually kept in captivity. That's interesting. I should probably I should read these out loud. I'm just trying to see if there's anything about if they're living relatives of pigeons. I would assume that they're not necessarily community birds, but they do kind of hang around together. Which would make it make sense that they're kind of hanging out together. So my idea is this zoo has a much bigger budget than other zoos that we kind of work with. Let's just get going. Dang it. I forgot I could do that if I messed up. I wasn't paying attention. Dang it. Yeah, Sparrow Forest didn't have a lot of money, and neither does the Reef Rescue. I think that was up. Okay. Okay, that's two super Diprotodons. Another female. We'll work on getting more dodos after we've done with this challenge. Because the challenge was to get 3 of them, so we're only 1 away. I forgot you could just exit out if you messed up. Hopefully the dodo gets us some donations. I was kind of hoping people wouldn't just stop and look at the chickens, but looks like we're going to get some donations towards our chickens as well. With any hope, the vast majority of our donations will be towards our actually extinct animals. So next time we will put a conscious effort into making an enclosure for our Diprotodons. We'll try and get a few more dodos as well. Maybe if we can decorate things up, I'm a bit more focused on making the overall enclosures and mapping them out, rather than putting a lot of time and effort into decorating single areas, because I did that a lot in Sparrow Forest, where I would dedicate myself to a single area. And I do it a lot in Reef Rescue as well, where I'm absolutely dedicated to a single thing, and then I can't stop working on it till it's done. And this one I want to kind of do it a bit more slowly, take a bit more time, growing enclosures and making them better over time. So with that, guys, I will see you for more next time. Thank you as always for watching, and I hope you are enjoying this series so far. If you have any suggestions, please do let me know in the comments down below, and I'll try my best to get it into the series for you. Bye bye.